Hello, this is wmpyr, here to talk about this video called Insane Military Hand-to-Hand Combat Fight. And I will post a video link down below, so please check it out. Um, and basically, in the description of the video, it says, I tried the highest level hand-to-hand combat test in the Norwegian Armed Forces. So just that alone is a very interesting concept. And this guy who takes the test, he doesn't look trained to me. He looks like he's in pretty good shape, but he doesn't look like a martial artist, like he has a ton of martial arts background. To me, that was evident when he was learning the strikes and stuff. They were teaching him some basic strikes to use for this test. And I just want to, I'm going to watch this video right now as I'm going to talk to you guys and just share with you my thoughts. Now, I'm sorry that I'm not putting in the video clips, but once again, YouTube, Google can be kind of picky about that kind of stuff, so I don't want to mess with that and the copyright or whatever kind of stuff. So yeah, let me just go ahead and tell you what I think. So we're gonna go ahead and start here, and he did some palm strikes, and yeah, they taught him to do palm strikes. And I personally, my opinion is I really not a big fan of palm strikes. And I know for self-defense, a lot of times they're teaching people to do palm strikes instead of punches, and that it makes sense. They're like, we don't want you to hurt your fists if you throw a punch, and you could damage your hand that way. So instead, do an open hand strike. And you know what? After this video, I would like to make several videos, me showing you guys the techniques that he uses, but my version. And because like after watching this video, to me this is a very inspiring video, and I think it's also a very good video for a lot of people to watch, and that's why I'm talking to you guys about it. And yeah, I kind of want to, like, if I was to take the test, how would I do, what would I like to be able to accomplish? What are some of the strategies that I would take? What are the techniques that I would use? Of course, I'm supposed to do what they want me to do, and the techniques would be very similar, but how would I evolve and modify that? Those are the kinds of things that I'm interested in, and I would definitely like to share my thoughts with you guys on that. But first, before I get into that, I think I need to just watch the original video many times, and I have been watching it. So yeah, the first thing is the palm strike. Like I said, not a huge fan, and I'll go into that, okay? And the next thing is he grabs, so the guy's holding like this target, like bag type of thing, and letting the guy palm strike him. And then from there, he grabs the one of the trainers behind the neck, so kind of like a Muay Thai clinch, or very much like a Muay Thai clinch, and he starts throwing knees, okay? So he's doing that. He breaks off, goes back to some palm strikes, and then he does a front kick, which pushes him back and creates a tremendous amount of distance. And he's told to be aggressive, so now he created a bunch of distance. Now he has to come back in. So that's another thing that I really want to cover here. I'm going to cover each one of those. Like I said, my own video for each one of these weapons, these tools that he has learned. But the front kick, this is a key. He does the front kick, and it pushes him back. The guy that did the front kick, he launches himself back because the guy holding the target shield, essentially, is in a very good base, right? And then he comes in again with palm strikes. And watching this again, the way, because it is a shield, right? This bag is essentially a shield, and you're palm striking this thing, and it has a slight curve, okay, maybe a little bit like the human body. I feel like the guy taking the test, he could have injured his hand doing these palm strikes. Now, his fingers and his wrist, They could have been sore the next day. I don't know. We'd have to ask him. But even if he's okay, and especially during the test, he's probably okay because of the adrenaline rush. He's not going to feel it. But after this, I bet he was all sore all over. His whole body was sore because it's an intense test. But I feel like there is the risk of hurting your fingers and your wrist, and that's why I'm not a big fan of doing the palm strike like this. And this is definitely a video in itself that I want to and I need to cover for you guys. But okay, so he's throwing the palm strikes, and because the reason why I said that is he threw like 2 palm strikes right now, and then he threw 2 more afterwards, and all of a sudden those 2 that he threw were much, much weaker looking. And this just started. He still has, I think he's going, oh man, this is eating up a lot of my stamina. But I think he's still okay at this point. He's still, there's a lot of stress and pressure that he's willing to fight through it. So now he grabs the guy again and he starts throwing some knees once again. And then he breaks off and goes back to palm striking. And then he throws the front kick and it pushes him back. He turns to look around because he knows that there are people around there and their job is to jump him like when he's not looking. And yeah, that does happen. So now he throws a front kick, and because I don't know if he's tired or he's starting to feel a little tired at this point, he throws a front kick and it slided off the shield. So he almost turned sideways at this point, and the front kick just glanced off. Okay, so that's another thing I need to cover here. Okay, and so first I'll cover palm strikes, and then maybe I'll cover front kicks next. But for sure, I do want to cover the front kicks. It's definitely probably this guy's best tool is the front kick. And now he's throwing the palm strikes again, and they just don't look good. And I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying the palm strike itself, it does not look good to me. And then the knees, he's throwing the knees again. And this is where the other guy jumps in, grabs him by the head in a Muay Thai type clinch. Now they're wrestling. And he's wrestling back. His head's kind of shoved down, very dangerous. He could get kneed. He gets shoved off. He tried to use the front kick to push him off, but wasn't able to. And the guy kind of has his head and arm very tight. And this is almost like a judo type throw, but they're both on the knees. This is, I believe, what jiu-jitsu guys would maybe call almost like a dogfight position. And yes, one of the trainer gets on top and he's pulled off. And the guy taking the test, he was on the ground, but he stood back up. And he's using his front kick again for this other guy. It looked like an eye jab, but I'm pretty sure it's not it was supposed to be a palm strike, but it looked like an eye jab. So he's kind of like pushing the guy on the head there because you know what? And the reason why it looked more like an eye jab, it was different, was because he was the guy attacking him was wearing a body armor suit rather than holding a shield. So that kind of changed from shield to body. It's a little different now, body armor. So now the guy who's holding a shield is bashing at him with the shield, almost like he's like in professional wrestling where you see like where they pick up the chair and they hit you on the top of the head. That is what's happening right now. And he could have blocked those. I would have used elbows to have blocked that, but he's blocking them. And what I do like, what he's doing is that he circled sideways. He circled away so that he's not going to be in the middle surrounded by everybody. So he put himself more off to the corner there, which it sounds bad, but actually he can see better, So I like that he did that. So he controlled, and I think here by now he's definitely got to be feeling winded, and he's definitely got to be going like, when is this going to be over, man? Like, I don't know how much I have left in the tank kind of thing. And so he's grabbing on. You can see the way he's grabbing on is a little different than earlier where he was grabbing onto the back of the head, like a Muay Thai head clinch. Now he's just like grabbing on whatever he can, throwing the knees desperately. and he gets taken down from behind, and then now they're in a grappling type situation. He gets mounted. So now he's technically in a really, really bad position, and he's just holding on for dear life. Looks like the trainer could have done an arm bar. The trainer's kind of like in a knee on the belly type of position. This trainer looks like he's pretty seasoned on the ground to me. Yeah, and he looks like he could arm bar the guy almost at any moment. He's just messing with him at this point, and he stops. And now the guy with the shield comes attacking him again, and I believe he used a front kick, and then back to the palm strikes, and now he goes into the knees. So it is what they taught him is very simple, but it's a nice combination where he's able to put it together. And under this kind of extreme stress, and even more importantly, extreme fatigue, he is able to just, stick with the simple tools and just use them again and again. Palm strike, knee, grab and knee, and then front kick, so it's kind of working to his favor, I believe. And then now here comes the disarm where the guy comes at him with a rifle, and then he's able to practice the disarm there, which they're letting him. There's a lot of stuff where they're not just fully attacking him full force, but that kind of gives you the gist of the test. It is an intense test. It really is, and yeah. Once again, I would like to definitely think of ways to evolve and improve upon this test. What would I do? And with my students, I wouldn't say what we do is similar, but in some ways I do see a lot of similarities. For my students, I want them to get the experience of, definitely how intense this could be and how much it challenges your cardio. So I do that a little bit to the point where we don't get hurt. And none of my students are like, like this guy where they feel like they're going to throw up, but they definitely, I see them breathing hard, really hard. They're like, they want a break and stuff. And of course I let them, and, we drink water and stuff. And, I'm not there to push them like military or anything. So I don't, but I do want them to still feel, how in real life, I want them to get the idea that in real life, it is going to be intense, and it is going to really challenge your cardio, that your stamina will be depleted big time. So that is a reality that they do need to experience. And I try to make sure that they do experience that, and yeah. And it's going to cover weapons. It's going to cover striking, basic striking, and managing of the distance. And then, of course, clinching and grappling does occur as well. So those are all realistic elements that this exercise had that I really like, and I try to incorporate that in my lessons as well. But anyway, so those are just some of my observations. This is not the full video, but I think that definitely gives you an idea of the test. And those are my thoughts. So that's it for now. Thank you for listening, and take care, folks.